Hello, friends. Something a little bit different today on the Cowboys Report. I am joined by Matt Thornton, co-host of the Drew Pearson Live Show. Matt, thank you for stopping by as we're going to debate some various Cowboys topics today.
Hey, Tom, thank you so much for having me on. Thank you for the Chat Sports team for having me. Man, you're just fantastic. I love your coverage of America's team, and it's a real honor to be here. Thank you, sir.
All right, folks, let's dive into some of these topics then. 5 of them for you. First up, should the Cowboys draft a linebacker in the first round? Matt, you are all aboard this idea.
I love that idea because here's the thing. That linebacker position has held this Cowboys team hostage for long enough. When Sean Lee's on the field, he's one of the best NFL linebackers.
Totally.
No doubt, right? But how many times in his career has he played all 16 games? None. Not one time. You got to get somebody in there for not if, but when Sean Lee gets injured. And Jalen Smith, how are you feeling about that knee? Is that completely healed?
I feel okay about it. He was much better later in the year.
Okay,
I'll
good.
mention that.
So good. So let's say Sean stays on the field. Jalen has he improves. Who's your third guy? Is it Damian Wilson?
Probably not.
Exactly.
It's not Joe Thomas.
Exactly. You don't have that guy. So, I mean, I think you've got to go up. You pick a linebacker, a stud linebacker, you grab him in the draft.
I am on board with getting a third linebacker because you absolutely need one. I mean, there's your depth chart. Joe Thomas, Damian Wilson, those are 4/5 linebackers. Guys will help on special teams. But if you're looking for a third linebacker, I don't like the idea of spending your first-round pick on one. I know there are some talented guys, but you're not going to get Smith. You're not going to get Edmonds in the draft. Why not wait till round 2 or 3 for a guy that in reality, ideally, is going to play like 30% of your snaps because when they're healthy, you do want Smith and Sean Lee on the field. I'm on board with getting a backer, but not in round 1. I think there are other needs you can go address.
I buy that, but here's the thing. Roquan Smith is a special talent. He's from Georgia.
He's not gonna be there.
This guy is sideline to sideline. He's everything you could possibly want in a linebacker. I have a whole big man crush on this guy. I love what he brings to the table. Go and get him. If you need to go up, go get him. If he's there, take him. I think they bring him in.
If he's there, take him. But now you want to spend a first, and let's say a second or a third on a linebacker. How are you going to address your needs at guard, at DT, and other depth positions as well there if you're sacrificing so much to get him? I love Smith. He is a great player, top 10 guy for me. But I'm not moving up to go get a linebacker there when – who are you going to sit then? If all those guys are healthy, you're wasting talent at that point.
But that's a huge assumption. All those guys are healthy. Fair. It hasn't happened one time for Sean Lee. Not once.
You want depth. You can get depth in round 2, round 3. Maybe you go get a Jerome Baker, a Jannard Avery, a Josie Jewell. Heck, I'll take a smaller, speedy guy in Shaquem Griffin or Fred Warner late on day 2, early on day 3, and that allows you to not spend that premium draft pick on a linebacker. Spend a high one. Spend multiple even. But don't spend a first-round pick on it.
No, well, can we both agree? Don't get an injured linebacker in the second round.
No Jack Chichi this year. Don't do it. I agree with you there. I totally agree with you on that one there. So that's the linebacker discussion. Let's move in now to our second topic here as I'm joined by Matt Thornton. Next up here, and you and I very much disagree on this one.
Oh, yes.
What do you do with La'el Collins? Do you move him back to guard, or do you keep him at tackle? You want to move him back to guard.
I do, because here's the reason. He allowed 51 quarterback pressures last season, 5 sacks on the right side. That offensive line was really good when healthy, right? Tyron Smith went out and the thing fell apart. But here's the thing. The guy really played well at left guard. Move Lyle back to left guard. He didn't allow any sacks in the first 2 seasons when he was playing that guard position.
It's cheating because he was hurt.
Well,
he was always hurt.
Part of it. Partially. But, we also missed out on Ronald Leary being there.
Yeah, they
heck
definitely
of a left guard, right?
Yeah.
But, man, why not bring the guy to left guard? That's where he's played his best football, and they're putting him out on that right side. He clearly struggled.
I thought he was a lot better down the stretch as he got more comfortable at tackle, and that's the big concern for me with Collins is now you're going to put him back at guard. You keep moving him back and forth. He was a tackle at LSU. Then he moves to guard. Then he moves back to tackle this year. That type of movement, I think the position flex that the Cowboys value so much has been detrimental to him.
Yeah.
I think if you keep him at tackle for an entire offseason, he's going to be a lot better than what he was last year. He'll be better against the speed. I think having a better guard will also just improve the entire offensive line. We're in agreement that you do need another starter because I do not want to start Marcus Martin at guard.
Right,
agreed. I guess if you don't spend a high pick on a player, then you can move him back to guard because you have Cam Fleming. But the way I look at it, especially when it comes to the draft, is I would much rather have a guard in this year's guard class than to spend a high pick on a tackle because I think the guards at the top are better than the OTs this season.
Well, yeah, and I tend to agree with that. It's a little bit of a deeper class when it comes to guard. But, man, let's be honest, if Mike McGlinchey, offensive tackle from Notre Dame, is there, guy is 6'7", 315 pounds. He did play right tackle 15 and 16, so it's not that he doesn't know the right tackle
and
position.
I think right tackle is actually his best fit because my biggest knock on McGlinchey, and I saw this a lot against Georgia in particular, he's going to have problems with speed.
Yeah.
Like, he gets burnt by speed, and if that was the main knock on Collins, well, why do you want another version of him?
I actually disagree. I think he's a little better with a speed rush, but I think he's got great athleticism on the edge. He's by far, to me, the best tackle in this draft class. And, he's not a finesse. He's more of a finesse tackle, but, he's a really quality run blocker and pass blocker. He's everything you want in the tackle. I think he would be perfect out there on the right side. And if he's available in the first round at 19, which is a big if, again, a great fit.
I actually think Connor Williams, the kid from Texas, is the best tackle, but I don't want to move him to right tackle because he's only played left tackle. Okay. I don't like the idea of moving guys around there. I prefer the guards this year. If you can get an Isaiah Wynn, I don't know if Hernandez is even the best fit for the Cowboys. I think Wynn is a better athlete that can get to that second level, although he is a little bit undersized.
Yeah.
They like James Daniels, the kid from Iowa, as well. I would prefer a guard here. You, though, had an idea, which I don't really agree with all that much, waiting in round 2 for Orlando Brown.
I do. Listen, here's the thing. Yeah, did he have a terrible combine?
Awful combine.
Absolutely. But look, he's an Outland Trophy finalist. He was a first-team AP All-American, right? He protected Baker Mayfield's blindside. I mean, the guy can play. He plays with a nasty streak. And I know a lot of those Cowboys offensive linemen, right? Oh. They're all really nice, good guys. They're very kind, very sweet. I want a guy who's nasty. I want an Eric Williams type who's going to try to take you out at the knees. I'm not advocating injuring anybody, but my point is I want a nasty guy, and this guy has a nasty demeanor. He's a superb run blocker. And he needs work on pass. But you know what? I think he can develop into a great pass blocker.
Combine totally turned me off.
I know.
Because not only did he run really slow, which was just like, how is he that slow? I know he's a big guy, but come on. He did terrible at the bench press. The bench press,
14
in reality,
reps.
Long arms matter. That's a test. He didn't study for the test. I now have doubts about whether or not he was prepared to go do the bench press there. That's what concerns me.
I'm with you a little bit there, but hey, as a second round guy, on the second day you get Orlando Brown because of all those fears like you have with other NFL teams. Why not take him there because they need a right tackle because they're going to move Lyle Collins to left guard. It's going to happen, Tom.
Keep him at tackle. If you move him to guard, he has to stay there. No more moving him around. We agree on that.
I agree with that 100%. Quit switching the guy out. That's just tough.
All right, let's move now to an icon for the Cowboys, Jason Witten. How much does he actually have left? Because I love Jason Witten, Matt. He is a franchise icon for a reason there. I never wanted to see him leave. But does he actually have a whole lot left? I kind of think that great as he is, got to find someone who can do a little bit more for you on offense.
Yeah, and here's the thing. People have really down on Jason Witten of late, and I really don't get that because he's got a ton left in his tank, okay? He's the best, in my opinion, all-around tight end in the NFL, no doubt. Still to this day,
I don't agree with that.
He's an outstanding blocker. He catches everything thrown to him. He's an outstanding leader on and off the field. He's everything you want in a football player. He started all 16 games. He never gets injured.
It's true.
He was only targeted last season, Tom, 87 times, which was the second lowest of his entire career. He caught 63 passes right, 72.4%, which was the highest amongst all Cowboys receivers with more than 10 targets. So get that. What's thrown to him, he catches. He only had 560 yards, but guess what? He had 5 touchdowns, which was second most on the team behind Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant had 69 more targets. 69 more targets. He has 132 targets, and Jason has only 1 touchdown less than him. I mean, this guy has so much more in his tank. He was underutilized. I don't understand why Scott Linehan has just moved him to the side of his playbook. Doesn't make sense to me.
Because Witten can't do anything outside of 5 yards at this point in his career. Like, I love Jason Witten. He remains a great blocker, as you've said.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, when you were a kid, you had that old, reliable blanket that you would take everywhere, your safety blanket.
He's your blankie, huh?
Well, here's the thing. That blanket hasn't been washed in quite some time. It's kind of starting to smell a little bit.
It's got some boogers on it.
It's not rancid by any means. It's still usable, but, It's time to get a new blanket there. So Witten, he doesn't do anything beyond 5 yards. He averages under 2 yards after catch.
Yeah.
That's like falling forward.
Right.
So he gets open. He's good in the red zone. He can still block very well, but he doesn't bring you anything downfield. He's not going to be a guy that defenses are concerned about anymore.
Right.
He can get open on 3rd and 4. There's a reason Dak loves to go to him at that point, and he is an icon for a reason there, but he's going to be 36. Like, don't spend a second-round pick because that never works on tight end for the Cowboys.
No second-rounder on the tight end,
But go get somebody who can do a little bit more for you down the field, who can be a better vertical threat, not necessarily a burner, but a guy that can get open at the 10-yard line and can get beyond the 5-yard line mark. Maybe it's Rico Gathers, maybe it's not. But if it's not Rico, in reality, I don't think that guy is on the roster right now at tight end.
But, Tom, I don't want my tight end stretching the field. I want my wide receivers stretching the field, right? And
why not both?
That was the problem the whole season, right?
Yeah.
Dez didn't stretch the field. Bryce Butler, on occasion, when he was given the opportunity to stretch the field, he was the best deep threat by far. Why do I want a tight end stretching the field? Yeah, he's not Travis Kelce, of course. He's not Rob Gronkowski stretch. But I don't want Jason Witten going for 20 yards down the field, down the seam. I want Allen Hurns. I want my wide receivers doing those routes because that's who they are. That's what they do.
Why not both, though? Why not get a receiver that can stretch the field and a tight end who can be maybe not a full-on Zach Ertz type, but a guy that can do more for you at the spot?
Well, okay, so what if the wide receivers did a better job of getting down the field, right? Would that open up more from Jason Witten?
It's all
I think it
so
would.
yeah, I
think it would, absolutely.
But we are in agreement. No second-round picks.
Yeah,
do not do it.
Please no tight end
no
in the
more
second
second-round picks in round 2. It just does not work out. Once again, folks, I am Tom Downey. Alongside me is Matt Thornton, co-host of the Drew Pearson Live Show. Let's keep it rolling now with one of my ideas here. This is the one that I want to see the Cowboys do. It involves the first round. Should the Cowboys trade down in round 1? I think they absolutely should. Here's kind of my mindset is you're not going to get Roquan. You're not going to get Edmonds. You're not going to get Derwin James.
You're breaking my heart, Tom.
I know. Vita Vea's probably not going to be there either.
Oh, no, don't tell me Vita's not there.
I hope he is, because you and I are in agreement on that one there. So my mindset is rather than sit there and draft a linebacker or a guard that, yeah, he's probably the 19th best guy on your board, but there's no difference between 19, let's say 29. Trade down, get an extra second or third or a fourth, and then move up from 50 and get 2 guys in like the top 40 and get 2 starters rather than just 1 guy.
I mean, I love your fantasy football hypothetical here. It's beautiful. And people ask me all the time, Matt, who should the Cowboys draft? And I say to them, well, who went 1 through 18, Tom? Yeah. And I'll tell you exactly who the Cowboys should draft. I don't disagree with you. I'm not a strong anti-moving down. Listen, but here's the thing. There has to be value, okay? If you go and you're at 19 and there's a guy who you like that fits a need at right tackle, or linebacker, right? I mean, you're in agreement with me. No, I'm just kidding. You're not in agreement. But if it's a linebacker and a right tackle there and he's a top 10 guy, top 5 guy, I take him all day. So I'm not opposed to moving down, but I also, here's the thing, I want a first round. I want a first round for that pick. If you're going to make me move from 19 down to 29, 30, whatever, I want a first round. I don't want just a second or a third. I want more value than just your typical second or third rounder.
Don't know if you'll get a first for moving down, even if it's 10 spots. But if you go down to, let's say, 27, somewhere in that range, maybe you make a deal with Pittsburgh, who falls in love with a linebacker, and let's say you miss out on Van Der Esch, that's okay. You can get someone else later. Then you can get a guy, let's just say James Daniels, because you're going to go guard in round 1 potentially. And then you get that extra second-round pick. You can package that or package a third, and you can move back into the top 40. Maybe there's a nose tackle that you want that slid for some reason. Maybe Payne fell. Yeah. Maybe you want to spend a high pick on a wide receiver. Maybe there's a linebacker still on the board that you really like. At that point, you can get 2 for the price of 1, set yourself up for more success, and solidify 2 needs. I would much rather trade down in round 1 than trade up for a linebacker. Exception being 2 guys, Derwin James, so I don't think the Cowboys even want all that much, or Vita Vea, our guy.
Okay.
Because we're in agreement on that one.
We are. You're absolutely right. If Vita's there, man, you got to take him because he's going to be a stud. But, I don't disagree, but, you show me the value. Jerry Jones, he's a wheeler dealer, right? He can get a 1.
He's going to be wheeling and dealing this year. Jerry's going to be active on day 2. I have no doubts about that one.
I think you're right.
All right, one final debate here, and you and I very much in disagreement on this one as well. Safety being a need, you kind of don't think so.
I don't. Okay, look it.
I'll mention this. I have slandered Jeff Heath on the show many a time.
Okay, all right. So here's the thing. Tom, who led the Cowboys in interceptions in 2017?
Jeff Heath.
That's right. Tom, who was tied for second on the team with 2 forced fumbles?
Jeff Heath.
Jeff Heath. That's exactly right. Jeff Heath. I don't know why so much hate fire for Jeff Heath. The guy played extremely well. Is he the best cover safety?
No.
Absolutely not. But you know what? He plays strong safety. He's a tackler. You've got Jeff Heath, Kevon Frazier, and Xavier Woods all in the mix there as your first guys, your number ones at safety.
And then a bunch of bums behind him.
And bunch of, no names behind him, exactly. And Jameel Showers, I thought he was a quarterback. I don't even know what he's doing out there. Anyhow, so, to me, he's the 45th ranked safety, Jeff Heath is, in total tackles. He had 71, 3 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, as I mentioned. I like Jeff Heath. Why not? Xavier Woods, you spent a 6th-rounder on the guy, put him at free safety, and in a pinch, you bring back Byron Jones. He didn't die, I know. And by the way,
put him at corner. Leave him there. That's where he should be.
I'm not opposed to that. And Chris Richard will figure that out, the new defensive backs coach, who is phenomenal hire, by the way. But why not use Xavier at free safety? Do it, man.
I'm fine with that because I wish the Cowboys would use their secondary guys right. Don't put Xavier Woods, a free safety, at nickel corner. That drove me insane all year. Don't make Jeff Heath your free safety. But here's the way I look at it when we go through these guys. I like Kevon Frazier. I think he's great on special teams, can be a nice in-the-box safety.
Okay.
But I think he kind of tops out as a 3. Like, I want him as your number 3 safety when you go big nickel. You have 3 safeties.
But has he had a chance? Has he had an opportunity to show you he's got more in his tank?
I suppose that's fair.
Yeah.
I suppose that's fair.
Yeah.
I think Woods I like. I think he is tops out as a number 2, a solid one, but he's still developing a little bit. Heath, I think, is your number 3 safety.
All right.
I like him as a 3, so what's missing there is a number 1 guy. I don't think you're going to be able to find a Darren Woodson again necessarily.
Yeah, right.
But if you can get closer to Darren Woodson, give me an impact safety who makes a bunch of plays on the ball so that you're not relying on Jeff Heath to be the guy who somehow makes a bunch of plays for you, almost on accident times, I feel like.
Come on, the guy's on the field. He studies.
But he gets
he's
burnt, too.
I know.
Mentioned I'm not a huge Jeff Heath fan many a time on this show, especially if you watch during the season. And he does play a valuable role. He's a great backup kicker. He's a nice number 3 safety
I love him as a backup kicker.
Oh, I do. That's saved
amazing
it for me in my eyes. And he made that great play against the Raiders to keep the
Yeah,
Cowboys playoff hopes
that's
alive.
right.
But he's not always consistent enough. I don't think he's as inconsistent as like J.J. Wilcox was for the Cowboys. But I would much rather, if you can find an impact safety, go get somebody to be that center fielder type. I wouldn't have minded them adding a guy like Kenny Vaccaro, who could be kind of that safety, more of the Xavier Woods role, who can play some strong safety.
Yeah.
They don't seem interested. I think they want a true center fielder type. And that brings me to the main issue is I think it's a need, but are they going to go get somebody? Because there's not a lot of them this year in the draft.
And that's my question to you. What are they doing? Are they drafting a guy?
Maybe they spend a mid-rounder on like Jesse Bates or something out of Wake Forest or a Justin Reed. So that's maybe where they go.
That's more the same.
I agree.
That's
and
the guys
I think that's fair. So I think maybe you see the Cowboys go all or nothing at safety. Either you spend a high pick or you say, you know what, we'll spend another 5th and a 6th-round guy and develop from there and see if those 4 guys can cobble together 2 solid safeties.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I do think it's a need.
I like the depth. I like what they've got. They should stick with it. Focus your attention somewhere else.
All right, folks. That is Matt Thornton. Follow him on Twitter at Matt Thornton NFL. He is the co-host of the Drew Pearson Live Show. I am Tom Downey. Follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney.